Need to be the most handsome guy in the world to win big. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's turn back the clock. Let's think back when you were in school, back when you were at different jobs. Did every girl that you really like, were they like really beautiful? Were they only beautiful? I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you my experience. Maybe you can relate. Now I'm big baller, and there are levels to this. But I'll tell you my experience. Let's see if you can relate. Now I'll tell you my experience, right? Sometimes I met girls, they weren't the most beautiful woman in the world. They were funny though, and they had a personality, and they would talk, and they were charismatic. And I was like, you know what? When I first met you, didn't really think too much. And then you opened your mouth, and I was like, okay, you're actually pretty funny. And I actually kind of want to hang out with her this time. Wasn't because of how her face looked, it's because of how she talks. And then at that same moment, I would see another girl who looks really good, who is really beautiful. A lot of guys like that other girl. She just wouldn't talk at all. If I ever had a conversation with, she didn't talk to anyone, almost anyone. And it's not about a me thing. She barely talked at all. She just didn't really care. And I'm like, okay, you're cool. But I could tell, not sure if I like that too much. See what I mean? There are some girls I met, they weren't the most beautiful girl in the world, but, they were chill. They were chill. I could hang out with them. They weren't going to judge me. They weren't going to make me feel bad about myself, which is pretty hard to do. It's impossible to do, but I'm just saying she didn't even try it. See what I'm saying? So let's remember that. Let's let's get that understood. All right. You can relate. Come on, just think of any girl that you really liked in this world. Were they always the most beautiful? I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna state some facts. Real facts, 2026. I'm gonna say almost no girls that you were really interested in your life. Almost none of them. The girls that you like the most. Imagine the girls that you like the most. Were they the most beautiful woman in the classroom, in the workplace, or were they someone you just like vibed and connected with? I'm gonna go with the latter. I'm gonna go with the latter, and I'll put some money on that. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the latter. Now, girls are human beings. They're from this world. They're similar to you in the way they think when we're talking about stuff like that. Let's remember that. All right? And then once you got that understood, you're going to realize you don't got to have the movie star looks. You don't got to get too obsessed with the face in the mirror. You don't got to do the 60 supplements. You don't got to try that crazy thing that costs a lot of money to get somewhere, man. You have to, of course, you have to improve the way that you look, your physique. Of course. Yeah, sure. Of course you should do that. But after it's like already at a decent level, you got to keep in mind you are built for a certain thing. You got to work with what you got. Life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But it's not the end of the world if you're not the most handsome guy. And if there's a girl in your life who's telling you, oh, you're not handsome enough to talk to me, she's lying. I'll say that one more time for the guys in the back that take it too seriously. She's lying. She's trying to get in your head. It's just another way for her to get in your head. She says things all the time. You're going to realize any girl that tells you, oh, you're not handsome enough, you're going to realize the next line she says, oh, you're not smart enough. Tell you a bunch of things. She's throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. You don't need to be the most handsome guy to make it somewhere. Well, definitely. I need to make that clear. Let's get that understood.